Hello and welcome to another Origins of Expressions. Today we'll be going over the phrases on the breadline, tighten your belt, as poor as a church mouse. What do they all have in common? They're all phrases and idioms around having no money. Let's go ahead and work our way right into our video. Money has been part of our human civilization for centuries. Historians have found stamped pieces of money made from valuable metals like bronze and copper that date back to 1000 BC in China. The invention of money has led to how we trade goods for money as we start to move into new standards of trading. Of course, not having money to trade for vital necessities like food and shelter can be a hardship for anyone, causing sickness, fighting, and even death. Today, we will explore a few of the idioms that were conceived throughout history due to not having money. So let's make our way to our first idiom. On the breadline. On the breadline refers to a group of needy people who form lines to receive free or discounted food from government or charitable organizations. As time has went on or under the breadline has also been used to explain income level. On the breadline started out as a literal phrase where lines of people would occur outside bread stores. The New York Times in 1904 wrote the obituary of Louis Fleischmann. It told a story of how the breadline started outside his bakery. The story goes, Louis Fleischmann opened a Vienna bakery near Broadway and 10th Street in New York City. The Fleischmann family packaged yeast and wanted to open a bakery. Yep, it's the same yeast you can still get today. After a while, he started to get people lining up outside the bakery. The smell of the hot bread being baked drew in starving New Yorkers. Fleischmann offered to feed one of the men, and soon after that, a line started to form. The New York Times article read, "The breadline grew until at night as many as 500 loaves were handed out to the men." After Fleischmann's death, the breadline at his bakery persisted, amongst many other breadlines that had popped up in the city. Glad to see there are so many charities and great people who help during times of need. Today, breadline is not as popular, but we still use it to explain income level. If you do not have much money, you are below the breadline. An example sentence is, "If I don't make a sale today, I'll be on the breadline." Now that we have dug into the origin of that idiom, let's hop over to our next phrase of the video. Tighten your belts. Tighten your belt means that you are trying to spend less money or use fewer resources. Got to tighten our belts this month. The origin of the saying has to do with hunger. The first written history of tighten your belt was in 1825 in David Stewart's book, Sketches of the Character, Manners, and Present State of the Highlanders of Scotland. It read, "When pinched with hunger, they experienced great relief from tightening their belts." This saying was also used during the Great Depression, when families had very little money and could not buy enough food. As they lost weight, it was said that they had to tighten their belts. Now we have adapted the term to mean spending less money. An example sentence of how it is used today is, "The Smiths are going on vacation abroad, and it will cost them a lot of money, so they're going to have to tighten their belts till they get back." Well, let's hope they have a good vacation. And we'll move into our last phrase of the video. As poor as a church mouse. As poor as a church mouse means to have little or no money. It is said that it came about in the 1600s to explain that if a mouse was living in a church, it went quite hungry due to the church having no food storage. The original saying was, "as hungry as a church mouse." From there, the phrase got changed to "as poor as a church mouse," because if you have no food, you probably have no money. The saying "as poor as a church mouse" was written in 1682 in The Royalist, in a comedy by Thomas Durfee. It reads, "God, if he threatens me again, I'll take the law to him. I know how to deal with such Tories as himself. I'll hoist him into Westminster Hall with a wet finger, and so drill him from court to court till he's as poor as a church mouse, or an honest attorney. Well, let's hope everything works out for both of them and they can settle their differences outside of court. Today, we still use as poor as a church mouse to declare we have very little money. An example sentence is, I wish I could go out to eat with my friends, but I don't have any extra cash. I'm as poor as a church mouse. Ooh, fun fact. Did you know that money around the world has been referred to using different slang words? In America, they refer to money as dough or cheddar. But America is not the only country that refers to their money with the use of other words. Let's go over a few. Just keep in mind that these words are translated to English from their native language. In Denmark, they call the 1,000 krone a toad. In Spain, they refer to their money as pasta. And in Australia, they call their $20 notes a lobster and their $50 notes a pineapple. Of course, this is due to the color of the money, but many countries have used slang words for their money. It's a way to shorten terms and have fun when you're talking with friends. Boy, it'll cost more than a lobster to get a lobster nowadays. Well, that's the information I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed learning about where our idioms and phrases come from. If you did, I would love to have you subscribe to the channel. It won't cost you any dough or cause you to stand in a breadline if you do subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it. Oh yeah, quick question before you go. Do you know any idioms or phrases around not having any money? Maybe you know another idiom or phrase on an entirely different subject. I would love to see them. Leave them in the comments below. And if I use one of your phrases, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you again for watching and subscribing. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, bye.